You're not taking advantage of opportunities you're given or opportunities you give yourself. Now here's an example. We're on Inferno, we're on T side, and I peek apps. Boom. Let's say I get that kill. What do I do next? What can I do? Now I could just walk up in apps, admire the beauty, just kind of meander, just kind of look around, or I could go down to Boiler and I can peek short and fight with my mid players, or real quick, I need to thank Skins Monkey for sponsoring this video. Skins Monkey is a swaggy automated CSGO trading site. It's super easy to use. All you have to do is pick something in your inventory, check how much it's worth, and then go get something new from the monkey. What's also super nice is the filters you can use to narrow down your searches. So you can either use your skins to trade for new ones or deposit money with their 30% bonus. This becomes 35% with my code Wilson. Please use it. Along with this, you can get up to $5 free. Use my code Wilson. The link is in the description. Thank you, Skins Monkey. I can take advantage of the space that I created by killing that apps player, right? So if I get this pick, now I know that there's a huge lack of presence in this area. On a default, CTs are going to be playing one short and they're going to be playing one long. And this is especially true or easy to recognize if you're in apps because you can hear that short player, right? If they're fighting somebody mid, you'll hear them stepping, shooting, whatever. So if you hear that and you kill that apps player, ring, 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 that should ring a bell in your mind. Hey, I just created a shit ton of space. I should take this. So what I would do is I would run out apps, maybe throw a little flash like that, boom, peek short. Because if I get this kill, that's essentially the round. I just won my team the round. All my team has to do is just smoke off arch. They don't even need to fight this long player, right? They can smoke off arch, run up short. I jump out apps. I can smoke moto or I can just hold it, be ready for fights. That's essentially the round. 5 versus 3. We have sight. Super difficult retake for the CTs, right? So take advantage of the opportunities you have and the opportunities you create. You ever spectate somebody and something happens where they need to whip out a piece of utility, maybe a flash to get somebody off of them, maybe a smoke to smoke a molly, and they do this. God, they're digging through their pockets just trying to look for it. Scrolling. I hate when people use scroll wheel for util. It's so much better to bind your nades. So if I get molly default, I can just whip my smoke out immediately. There's no time. The only time you have to wait is just the pullout animation for the smoke. You don't have to dig through your pockets. Where is it? God damn it. Easy. So much better. So I have my nade bound to X. I have my molly bound to C. I have my flash bound to front mouse button, and I have my smoke bound to T. For me, in my brain, these make sense. And they can be different for you. They don't have to be specific, but please bind your nades. Communication is an unbelievably important aspect of CS. So if I were to make 3 rules about communicating, this is what they would be. Rule number 1, be specific while trying to be brief. Right? I don't want to give my teammates a goddamn monologue about what I'm hearing, but I also want to give them valuable information. So let's say, for example, I hear that there's 2 in bathroom. I shouldn't say they're in bathroom, right? Because that kind of implies that all 5 of the T's are in bathroom if I'm standing here. So that tells a short player, if I say they're in bathroom, he might assume, oh, okay, they're mid. And he's going to run to con, and then he dies from a T holding here, right? So if I hear 2 people, I should say 2 in bath. Or if I hear 1 person, I should say 1. Or if you hear a number of footsteps and you can't tell, just say a few. Unless you know for sure that all 5 people of the enemy team is somewhere, don't say that they're there. Does that make sense? And I'm a culprit of this too. It's in our nature to say they, right? But whenever you can, try to be as specific as possible. The second rule here is incredibly basic, but it needs to be said. Manners and a positive attitude. Say thank you, say please, be respectful, and be positive. Cheer your teammates on. They're your teammates. You want them to succeed. So when they have a, nice shot, nice round, good pick, good entry, be specific, celebrate their wins, everything. If you keep that positive vibe up, you're gonna have more fun, your teammates are gonna have more fun, and it's just an overall better experience. And you're gonna get your teammates talking more and more because they feel that positive, they feel encouraged, they feel that vibe. So have manners and be positive. The last thing is that you should tell your teammates what you're doing if you're doing something important, right? Let's say we have 2 on B here on overpass. I have 1 guy holding monster and I'm holding short. Maybe I'm holding a little angle like this, and I want to go A. I should tell him, hey, I'm rotating. Your short's open. Let him know that there could be danger from short and that I'm leaving. Because if you don't tell your teammates that you're rotating, they're not focused on the mini-map the entire game, right? It's good to be able to focus on the game and allow your teammates to tell you when they're doing stuff. On T side, if you spawn in and you have a plan in mind, you should tell your teammates so that they can make plays off of it. Maybe I spawn in and I say, hey, I'm gonna take short. Okay, nice. Now my teammate is, somebody's gonna follow me and try to trade me short, right? Now you're creating plays amongst your team purely just by saying what you're gonna do. So let your team know your intentions, tell them what you're doing. Don't give them a story. Be clear, be concise, be helpful. It's gonna win you games. I stream every Saturday and Sunday, shameless plug, and a big question that I get a ton is when should I tap, when should I burst, and when should I spray? I stream on YouTube. My answer is it depends. It really depends. The first variable is how good is your spray? Are you a liege? I don't think so. I'm not a liege. But if your spray is really good, then you can use your spray more often, right? But if your spray is pretty iffy, you don't have great spray control, then you should be doing more tapping, more bursting until you can really hone in on your spray control and get really comfortable with it. Now, bursting still requires some drag down, right? If I burst and don't drag down at all, you see that third or fourth bullet that would go way over their head? Doesn't work. You still have to drag down a little bit, which is why I think a really good practice thing you should do is come into aimbots and just practice your bursts. Just do little bursts and just practice that slight pull down that you have to do them. Now, the big advantage to tapping and bursting is that you can stay mobile. You can stay on your feet. When you spray, you're committed. You have to stand there or else you're inaccurate, right? Or you have to crouch into your spray to make it a little bit easier, and then you're really committed to the fight. But when you burst or when you tap, you can stay agile. You don't have to commit to fights. You can move around and make the fight more difficult for your opponent. The beauty of bursting, it's a weird sentence, is that your recoil resets really quickly, right? If I do a full spray, it takes longer for my recoil to reset after a spray. You see, if I do a little burst, it's very quick. I don't have to wait very long, but if I do a full spray, I have to wait quite a while until my recoil resets. So when you're in the situation where you're kind of engaging in a few gunfights at once, somebody could peek you from somewhere else, it's better to burst, tap, whatever you want to do. I don't tap very much. I typically mostly just burst, but that way you're not overly committing to fights. It's harder to get kills with sprays in long range, right? Let's say if I miss this guy with my first shot, I have to readjust my spray pattern and it can be really tricky. But if I'm bursting and I miss, okay, all good. I just reset, readjust my crosshair. I don't have to readjust my crosshair in the middle of my spray. But when somebody's really close and I miss, it's really easy for me to readjust my crosshair during the spray because I have a much bigger target to hit. So distance plays a huge factor, and also how good is your spray. Being able to hear sound cues in CS, so important. So you got to make sure your audio settings are good. This is what I have. I have mine on crisp. This is the best one for being able to make out footsteps, gunshots, reloads, what have you. And I have mine on 90% left-right isolation. You can play with this. It's best to keep it, you know, maybe between 60 and 100. I like mine on 90. If I wanted like the best sounding audio quality, just in terms of like, oh, this sounds nice, I wouldn't have these settings, right? These are purely just for competitive advantage. So if you want that advantage, put it on crisp and crank up your left-right isolation. It'll make it way easier to tell where enemies are. For my last piece of advice to you, I wanted to sit you down and we can have a little therapy session. You're going to suck. You're gonna make mistakes. People are going to make fun of you. You're gonna have really bad losses, but you're also gonna have wins. Play to improve. Don't let CS control your emotions, control your confidence, control your self-value. It is so easy to get sucked into this game and feel like your rank is a reflection of yourself. You're allowed to be bad. You're allowed to make mistakes. That's okay. What matters is how you respond. Recognize what you did wrong and try to do something different the next time. Trial and error is your best friend in this game. Play to improve. Don't beat up on yourself too much, and you're gonna become a much better player much quicker. Thanks for watching this video. I hope it was helpful. If it was, please subscribe. I recently hit 20,000 subscribers, which is awesome. So I want to say thank you guys. And also a huge thank you to my channel members. They support the channel. Have a great day. Thank you so much.